I think it's just about individuals' passion for what they do. I don't know if you know when you hit bumps in the road, you can't give up. You got to just keep pushing forward.
I want to talk obviously about your store here, Fresh and Fly, and I know you've been in this location downtown for a little more than 5 years, right?
Yes.
Surviving as a retail store downtown is a challenge. What have some of the biggest challenges been since you started in this location?
The transition to being in this location has done nothing but grown the business, and it has been a challenge on keeping it up with the customer demand for different items and just knowing when to say no, not outside of the range of what we can do, and just being able to say that in a way that is still going to maintain and keep the customer coming into the store, but at the same time, knowing what's in and out of our scope of things that we do here at Fresh and Fly.
Yeah, how has your customer base grown since you moved here?
Well, the location allows me to be in the face of so many different customers. Whenever the Town Union have events or any other of the venues that's in this area have events, we have customers that come from all over the world. Literally, having all these different customers come to the store just from being in this location has been a tremendous help in growing the business.
I also want to talk a little bit about downtown more broadly and your experience here. It sounds like you've had a lot of success. Yeah. Why do you think in general it's hard for retail to survive in downtown Albany?
Not having a large growth of residency and people that actually stay downtown after 5 o'clock has been a negative impact on retail business. But since that has been steadily increasing and we have more residents growing in the downtown area, as well as other retail businesses that has come in the downtown area, business has continued to grow. And I think that if more businesses and like-minded retailers come in with that mentality to not give up when rough patches come, because rough patches is going to come. That's a part of doing business.
Is there a certain investment or project that has made a difference for you feel like, in the past few years?
The continuous improvements with the Town Union, even though that could be considered a rough patch with all the construction that was going on with the Town Union, and having that obstruction in the middle of the street and people not being able to park, that made it tough for my customers to get to my actual physical brick and mortar location. So that made me have to shift things and emphasize on my website. But being that those investments have been made and that rough patch has already passed by, it has increased business afterwards with the amount of people that has been coming to the Town Union, the improvements that have been made, the Teletrons that's outside, the Albany Empire that's down here now with all the home games. Whenever they have home games, it's like, they have block parties, and that brings all of the capital region out to downtown Albany. So those investments in this area has been tremendous for business, and I'm sure that I'm not the only retail business that has benefited from those things.
You said before that you have like 10 other locations in your mind, and I know that this location is really important for the store. Like, where else would you consider opening up?
Well, it's other places in Albany that I would consider opening up, but I want to expand my business just beyond. I want to go national with Fresh and Fly. I feel like the business model will be successful in any urban town that I go to. And this has been a great experience. Just being in this location has taught me a great deal about what needs to be in place for my business to be a success. So the model has grown. I have fine-tuned the model enough to go into other urban cities all over the country and be successful. It's just about, building the capital and just, if I had 2 or 3 of myself already, I would have already did it. But, that not being the case, it's just about, when the time is right, I'll be able to move and expand this business and hopefully franchise it out and do other big things within the retail industry.
All right, I think that's a great note to end on. So I really appreciate the time.
Yeah, no problem at all.
Great.